hey, I just felt like sharing something with you. Now, I was just out here on Maui taking a little walk. That's why in the beautiful day, and it's sunny and warm and breezy, so there's a little bit of sweat and a little bit of cool and beautiful views. It's all great. But it's a really great time to sit and sort of think about things, which I was doing, and mostly thinking about gratitude and how much I want to always remember to take advantages of all those small little joys of life, because it's easy to just kind of focus on all the things you have to do and forget that there's a whole lot of things that you get to do, even if it's stopping to look at a bug, that can be fascinating. But then I came in and sat here in my studio bedroom and started answering emails, and one of my pals had messaged me, and they were thanking me for sort of sharing some of these ramblings, and especially right now because I'm going through a period of transition. Now, like all of us, this has just been one big period of transition from COVID on, and for many of you even before that. And some of you maybe just started recently, but we're all shifting for a million different reasons. I find that fascinating. I don't know what entirely to make of that, but I'm excited and curious, and also it's just a weird, interesting thing, right? But what she said was that she appreciated my transparency and sharing this changing that I'm trying to do, because she's going through change too, and it kind of gives you hope and encouragement to feel like you're not the only one. So I thought, I'm going to pop on here super quick and just talk about that for a bit. And you might say, well, what does that have to do with creativity, Christy? Because your whole creative universe is supposed to be about creativity. Well, I do have an answer for that, and that is everything's creativity. We are creating the world that we live in, both in a large sense and in a day-to-day sense. What you look at and focus on and think about is what you are creating your reality to be. Some things we don't get choices over, but a lot more we do than we sometimes realize. We get to create if we're sleeping in or waking up, if we're exercising or not, if we're eating well or not, or if we're having a treat, or seeing a friend, or going out somewhere, or working, or, every single choice is a creative choice of your life. And even things where sometimes you don't get a choice, like you have to get up and go to work, you choose to get up a little early so that you can ease into your day, or decide to be nice instead of cranky. And don't beat ourselves up. Not every day is going to work out well, but acknowledging that we do have the power to create so much more of our day-to-day experiences than perhaps we would like to think about, I think is valuable for us. It gives us back a lot of the feeling of control over our lives, which sometimes is hard to get when so many things are out of your control. So anyway, that's something to think about. But I just wanted to stop and think for a minute about, number one, appreciating her reaching out. Because sometimes I send something out there, like the newsletter I just did, and I'm talking in mid-May here, and the newsletter was just about me recognizing some of these pretty little things in my day. And several of you reached out just to tell me that it really meant a lot, just for me to share my walking around and gratitude for life, right? And that means a lot to me, because as an artist, many things I do are sort of in a vacuum. I am in my head creating a world that I then present to you guys through whatever social media or otherwise we have. And it's sometimes hard to know what everybody thinks, if they like it, don't like it. In one sense, it doesn't matter. I'm doing it because I want to, and I think it's a good thing for me to do. But the fact that other people are touched by it and connected to it is nice. It's like a little gift that I get back when those of you who feel compelled to reach out and say something do. So thank you for all of you who have always done that and continue to do that. I love that. But the other that she just mentioned about the transparency of sharing the changes I'm going through, that's one of the things I sort of wanted to focus on. I'll do another video shortly just about what those changes are, because many of you have followed me for years, and everything that I'm doing right now is quietly in flux. I used to go out and teach all the time. That's changed. I used to teach online a lot. I've shifted that. My store is undergoing rather large transformations. I'm adjusting what I present to people in terms of projects and sharings, and I'm writing more and blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of stuff. So I want to keep you in the loop with me because I'm excited about it. And all of the changes, and this is the part I wanted to make, is all of the changes that I'm doing to my life are because I've been on this journey, as all of us have been on various stages of this journey, I think, or many of us anyway. Not all of us, but all the ones that are listening to this have made it this far in the video and are continuing to listen are probably in that category. Because there are fundamental things about the way we're living our life that we are questioning. And a lot of the questioning has to do with, do I want to keep doing this for the rest of my life? Because if you've hit that midway point or beyond, you start thinking more about how much time you have left, not how much time you have in front of you, which is a fundamentally weird shift. I gotta say, that has happened to me over the last couple of years. Before it was like everything that was in front of me, and now, although that's still there, there's more of a thing of like looking back at what I've done and deciding what patterns need to be broken or changed, or which ones I can and can't do, and if so, how. And I think that is good. I mean, obviously, what else can we do? We're human, and this is the way it is. But I am trying to kind of share with you the process that I go through when I'm starting to think about what I'm doing and why. And there are certain things that I have done very conscientiously, or very, in the moment, but with there being a lot of thought behind it. So, for example, my whole life, it seems, has been, as most of us are, of just trying to earn enough money to pay the bills, right? And I don't mean that entirely a bad thing. I was talking to my brother this morning about, we live the kind of lifestyle that kings could only have dreamed of once upon a time. Warm showers and plumbing and refrigeration and being able to get variety of fruits that don't grow in our region or are not available in this season in our region. I mean, kings could only acquire to that. We live pretty much bug-free on clean linens and etc. We got some pretty good stuff going on that we often forget about because we're humans, and that's just the way it is. So I am trying to think about each of these different things in my life and go, of the things that I can change, what do I want to change? And of the things that I would like to change, but I don't quite know how, what does that look like? What do I need to put into motion to get where I want to be? And my changes have been, I want to be a creative. I want to share my creativity. I want it to monetize in a way that keeps me at a comfortable level. And I want more time to just do whatever the heck I want. And that can't be something in the future thing. That has to be a today thing. And that's what I wanted to tell you, is that first of all, you have to think about what you prefer. And then you have to think of all the little incremental changes to your life today that could help you get to where you prefer. Because it doesn't happen in 10 minutes. And it's not one of those, well, when I get all this stuff, then I'll be able to. And one of the examples for that is, I can remember this very distinctly when I was in my 30s, and my then husband had a family member that him and wife were delightful. They worked all their lives. They had a brick and mortar store that they worked in their whole lives, and they finally got to the age where they could hand that over, I think, to their children or sell it or something, and retire and go live the life they had always wanted to. And you know what's going to happen next? That the husband died of a heart attack within a year or so, and he never got to have the payoff for all the work he did. Now, I think he enjoyed his life as he went along, and I think he would say that his life was happy, but he and his wife had looked forward to a thing that ultimately they didn't get to experience. And that really impacted me at that point, because I thought, if I am not enjoying today, and I am putting off till some distant time when I've got all my ducks in a row and everything's lined up and all the stuff and the money in the bank and all that, I may never get there. And then the today will be tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, and I will never have done anything. So each of us will have a different feeling about that. Each of us will have a different plan of action about that. But it's a question or a concept worth thinking about. So in all of this transparency of my living my life out loud, for whatever reason that is, some days I love it, some days I'd rather not. But for whatever reason, here I am telling you all about myself for some mysterious reason. If it can be any help to you, I hope that this is what you will take away from it, is that there is a lot more in your power every day to live what you prefer. And you're the only one who knows what that is. I may think it's a life that looks like this, but you might be like, nope, none of that's not what I want. Find out what it is you want. What brings you happiness? What brings you joy? Hopefully it's not mass murder, because I just can't condone that. But anything else that you want, maybe you love to go out in the forest, or maybe you wish you had a garden but you live in an apartment. Buy some plants. if you can. Whatever, just try and find a way to get to where you're going every day, a little at a time, and create for yourself the future that you would prefer by incremental installations day by day. That's my thought for the day. I hope it's helpful. Bye.